Hi guys and gals, Froggy here. This is a little fountain I've got outside the house, and it's got a submersible pump that pumps water from the basin area and comes out that little spout there, and the pump is worn out, so I'm going to show you how to put in a new pump. First you have to empty the whole fountain because the electricity wire has to go through a hole and be sealed down there in that corner. So now I'm going to empty it. Okay, I used a wet dry vacuum to empty out the water. Got all the rocks out. I had some rocks down below that were propping up different plants and so on. And now you can see where the electrical power goes through towards the bottom there. Comes out there, right? And it goes into my timer box. So I've got to pull that wire out, make sure the power's off, and I will take my new pump. Where'd it go? Oh, I must have brought it into my workbench. Anyway, open up my new pump. It's about the same size. You have to know how high you want the water to rise, how many gallons per minute you want it to pump, and what else? I thought there was one other thing. Hold on, I'll tell you. That's it. It's basically the flow, how much you want it to flow, and how high you need to pump the water up, like this. And that tells you what size pump you need. This one is about the same size and ratings as the one I'm taking out. So, with luck, it should be okay. Well, actually, I guess this is a little bit smaller than the old one. It cost about 30 bucks. I don't remember what the old one cost. But the rating, it should be alright. I'm only trying to go up roughly 3 feet. That's at the low end of the range. And I don't really care how many gallons per minute. I just want it to, light, easy flow. So I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to cut this cord and open up that hole there. That'll be sealed up with marine silicone. And get this old one out. Got plenty of cord to put the new one in. So let me start that. It turned out to be quite a job to pull that old electrical cable through there. I had to get a pulley, a 2-ton jack there. You can see in some rope. And I finally got it out. What was holding it in there is this stuff. It's marine grade, maritime or marine grade silicone, and I'm the one who replaced it last time, so I apparently packed a lot of that stuff in there, and it's not solid, it's soft, but it stays tight and very waterproof and everything. So I had to pull that through. Now we got that out, we just have to thread the new one in and seal it and test it, and then fill it up with water. Let it rip. I wired it up just for testing. I'm going to have to trim this later on. 3 wires for this pump. Green is neutral, the white is hot, and the black is ground. I think I got that right. Put some comments up if I didn't get that right, but I think I did. Anyway, I turned it on. It runs. You hear that? You're not supposed to run it unless it's underwater, so I just flipped it for a second. I've got to get some of that marine sealer to seal this hole up again now. So I'll be back in a little bit. Got to make a trip to the hardware store. Okay, this is where we're at. I use this adhesive sealant. Come on, zoom a little bit. There we go. And that's this right here. 3M Marine Adhesive Sealant. Fast cure. They have a slow cure, but you probably want to get the fast cure. 5200. So that's about it for today. I've got to let that set up, and then tomorrow fill it with water and plumbing for this, well, the little pump goes into this box here. And this box is basically just a big filter box. It has some plastic balls there, a couple of foamy pads, and that's to make sure that the water that goes through the pump, it's going to get sucked in here. This is the inlet openings, all these little sections here. It's going to get pressurized and pumped out here, and that's going to go through that little fitting like that. And then I'm going to have an external adjustment for the flow. This is the external adjustment for the flow. So what I want to go out there, that's going to go through that section of piping there, which is kind of kludged together, but anyway it works. That piping runs up through this column and right out there. And then the excess will just come back out here and recirculate. So that's basically how a fountain pump works. Now on the back side, I just have to, this is all just for testing purposes here. I'm going to run the wire along some of these cracks and fasten it up there and make it all nice. But I wanted to, you know, before I do all that, I wanted to test it first and make sure it works. And if it doesn't leak out that hole there, then we did a good job for sealing it. And we stick the plants back in there and it'll be done. So I'll film some more tomorrow. Okay, Froggy out for tonight. See you later. Bye-bye. Froggy's going to apologize because I forgot to record the stuff I did to put it back together, but I'm going to do the best job that I can describing it to you. Really, you saw the biggest part of it, taking everything apart, pulling out the old cord. I'm pretty sure I showed you the white marine sealant that I used to seal the new cord, and comes out right here. As you can see, it's dry as a bone, so Froggy and the sealant did a good job. I shortened up this cord and I ran it here in between some of the rocks just to make it look neat, and also in between these rocks here some tie wraps to put it up into the control box. It's 3 leads. The green is neutral, the white one over here for load, and the black one for line. These are little triggers or trips. This is like a regular clock, 24-hour clock. So right now it's about 7:30, quarter of 8, and when it comes to 10 o'clock it's going to shut it off. So that's all electrical wiring, and I made it kind of neat there. Let me talk about the pump end. On the pump end, it goes into that black plastic box. Now what does that black plastic box do? Basically it's a reservoir for the water so that the pump can get good clean flow of water, and it's also a filter so that the water that the pump is pumping is filtered as best it can, because dirty water would just make the pump wear out faster. So pump goes in the box. Box gets connected with some various, and I used all different kinds of hoses because it's really kind of a kludge system. But the important thing is there was one section that's a flow control, and that came with the original box and the original pump that I used. The flow control lets you control how fast the water comes out, and that's about how I like it right there. It makes a nice sound when it hits the water at the bottom, and it doesn't shoot way out here. If it shoots out too far, which I could do, it hits these leaves, and when it hits these leaves it splatters here and there, and it just kind of makes a mess. So the flow control is important. And then that goes to the pipe that's been run up the column. And there's also an automatic overflow pipe right there, so that if it rains and this pond gets too full, the excess will flow out there. So the height of that pipe determines the height of the water inside the little fountain. So really that's about it. You stick the plants back in. They look a little messy right now, but they'll look better in a few days. And the plants are propped up in the water. They're water plants, obviously, but they're propped up on different rocks that are sunk in the water. That would have been nice to show you that, but again, I apologize. I just forgot to film it all. Please post up some comments. If you have some questions about some specifics on how I finished up the repair and put it back together, I will answer them, I promise you. Okay, that's what I got for you. Sorry, it's the first time I ever forgot to film the second part of a video, but oh well, life happens. Give me a thumbs up if this is any good at all to you, or a like, and click on subscribe if you want more from Froggy. Otherwise, I'll see you later. It's starting to get cool here, starting to get towards the evening. I don't know if there's a sunset I can show you. Not really. There's a marine layer starting to come in there. You see that grayish cloud there about halfway up the screen. That's a marine layer coming in. So take it easy, guys and gals. See you later. Bye bye.